Hello student, here I am back with my next topic from atoms and molecules. I hope the previous topic which I explained you that is introduction of the chapter, then laws of chemical combination, that is law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion. Apart from that, I also explained you the postulates of the Dalton atomic theory. I hope all these things are clear. See children, they are very important topic from the point of your exam as well as for your future. So do remember them, and if you're having any doubt, you can contact me through our school campus care ID. Now today I'll be explaining you about atoms. We all know that atoms are the smallest unit or they are the building blocks of the body. Now if we talk about what is atom through our NCERT, then we can take the example of a mason building block wall. Now mason building is known as one of the most durable building or the walls. These walls form a room, and then the collected room forms a building. Now if we talk about those particular building blocks which make the building, then we can say that they are very small, like size of a grain of sand, very small. So similarly, these building blocks of matter are called atoms. Now, how big are these atoms, or what is the size of the atom? Now, we know that atoms are the smallest particle of an element which take part in a chemical reaction. We all know chemical reaction is there where two reactants combine together and form a product, which is a new product. Now, if we talk about the size, then basically atomic radius of the atom is measured in nanometers. That is 1 nanometer is equal to 1 by 100, 10 to the power 9 meter. This 1 meter is equals to 10 to the power 9 nanometer. And this, for example, we can take the of hydrogen, where the atomic radii of hydrogen atom is 1 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter, or 10 to the power minus 10 is the radii of the atom of hydrogen. Coming to the relative size. Now, relative size is a particular type which helps us to know the exact radii of a particular atom, of a particular element. When we know the radii of an element, then it becomes easier for us for the calculation purpose. Radii is known, then we can calculate how many molecules, or sorry, pardon me, how many atoms of a particular element is required to make a particular molecule. Now, there are certain examples which are given from our NCERT textbook, like atoms of hydrogen have the radii 10 to the power minus 10 meter, then molecules of water have 10 to the power minus 9 nanometer. Molecules of hemoglobin, that is blood, is consisting of hemoglobin, and that hemoglobin is having radii of 10 to the power minus 8. Then grain of sand 10 to the power minus 4. Ant is having 10 to the power minus 2, and watermelon is having radii 10 to the power minus 1 meter. Now we can even say that though this technique which we are using, that means a modern technique is there which we now use to produce the image that shows us how atoms are arranged. Here is an image of a surface of silicon. Now different color molecules are there, so that it becomes easier for you to just have a look at the image of the surface of silicon. From here you can see like how the molecules are spread. Small molecules combine together to form a single surface of silicon. We are not talking about the inner part, only the surface part. This shows us that how many molecules or how many atoms combine together to form a particular thing. Next, coming to the what are the modern day symbols of atom of different elements. So basically Dalton was the very first scientist who used these symbols of element in a very special and a scientific way. When he used these symbols for an element, he also meant that a definite quantity of these elements is also required. Another scientist came Berzelius, who suggested that symbols of element can be made from a letter or a single letter or a two letter from the name of an element. Here is the example, like hydrogen, phosphorus, copper, gold, carbon, sulfur, lead, platina, oxygen, iron, silver, and mercury are there. This is the symbol which was proposed by Dalton for the elements. This was used for a longer time till the new discovery was done. Now, what exactly happened? Like in the beginning, now names of the elements were derived from the places where they were first found. Like we can take the example of copper, which was found from Cyprus. So it was named as copper, that is Cyprus. Then another name is taken gold, which was taken from the English word that means yellow. Nowadays, we are following IUPAC nomenclature, that is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, which has approved and certified the names of the elements. Many of these symbols are the first one or two letters of the element's name in English. The first letter of a symbol is always written in a capital, that is uppercase, and the second letter is always written in a small letter, that is lowercase. For example, hydrogen, aluminium, and cobalt. Hydrogen we are using H, so it is written in capital. Well, writing for aluminium we are using A and L. So A is capital, L is small. Similarly, cobalt, C is capital, O is small. If we are using C and O both capital, that will be carbon oxide. Next, coming to symbols of some elements are found from the first letter of the names and a letter appearing later in the names. That I already told you, like first letter and then the second letter which appears, or the third, fourth letter which appears in a particular name, like chlorine Cl, zinc Zn, where chlorine C is coming from first one and L from third letter. Similarly, zinc Z comes from the first letter and then N from the third letter of a particular name. Now, the above given table refers to whatever we have studied about the elements. Now, no need to memorize them a lot, but yes, if you'll try to memorize the names and symbols of these elements, they'll help you in your next chapters. I have written this because it is part of NCERT, so it was important for me to write, like, do not bother to memorize all in one go. Now, coming to the symbols of some elements. Now, pronunciation might vary from person to person, but element and symbol will always remain same. So, I would suggest you to learn the elements and symbols. Now, first is aluminium, argon, barium, boron, bromine, calcium, carbon, chlorine, cobalt. Aluminium Al, argon Ar, barium Ba, boron B, bromine Br, calcium Ca, carbon C, chlorine Cl, cobalt Co. Another are copper, fluorine, gold, hydrogen, iodine, iron, lead, magnesium, neon, nitrogen, oxygen, potassium, silicon, silver, sodium, sulfur, uranium, and zinc. These are the few elements whose symbols are also given, which you can see and you can memorize them for your future. Next, coming to the topic, that is atomic mass. Now, Dalton atomic theory suggests us that each element has a distinguishing atomic mass. Keeping this theory in mind, the law of constant proportion could be explained easily, but it is indeed little difficult to evaluate this mass of atom, since the size of atom is relatively very small. We all know the constant proportion says that mass cannot be created nor can be destroyed, but the mass of this atom is of mass of size of atom is very small, so it is little difficult. So therefore, scientists started evaluating the mass of an atom by comparing it with the mass of a standard atom. Now, standard atom, that is a particular atom which is known as to have a standard mass. Here we are having carbon, which is having standard mass 12. Now, if we take the atom, so its atomic mass is 12, that is 12 atomic mass unit of carbon. So we can say that one atomic mass unit is the mass of 1 by 12, the mass of a carbon atom, which is equal approximately to 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. If we talk about the particular thing in a more deeper way, then the atomic mass of an element is taken as the number of times an atom of it is heavier than 1/16th of the atom of oxygen. This, if you don't understand, no need. You can concentrate in the 1 by 12, that is carbon 12. Now, the mass of one atom of carbon 12 is taken in the account, which is used for dividing the 1 by 12 pattern. Basically, why we have used this is the carbon 12 isotope we have chosen as a standard reference because one atomic mass unit is equal to exactly 1/12 the mass of the carbon 12. Here carbon 12's relative mass is exact the way we want to use. So it is used for reference, or it is used as the atomic mass reference for all the elements which are present in the world. Now, explanation of atomic mass unit. Earlier we know 1 by 16th of the mass of oxygen atom was used as a standard mass for calculating the mass of other elements. But now we are using carbon 12 as in standard mass atom because the carbon 12 has 6 proton and 6 neutron at its nucleus. We all know structure of atom that we have studied in class 8 also. In that, center part is there, that is nucleus. That nucleus is having 6 proton and 6 neutron in it, and that precise the term 1 atomic mass unit is the average of the portion rest mass and the neutron rest mass. So प्रोटॉन एंड न्यूट्रॉन के रेस्ट मास का उसका एवरेज बताता है, इसलिए हम उसमें कार्बन 12 को यूज़ करते हैं. ऑक्सीजन के अंदर ये डिफरेंस आ जाता है, इसलिए हम ऑक्सीजन को यूज़ नहीं करते हैं अब. Now we can take the example of a simple example, like imagine a fruit seller is selling fruits without any standard weight. उसके पास वज़न करने के लिए कोई भी स्टैंडर्ड चीज़ नहीं है, वो एक रफ वे में सेल कर रहा है. वो एक वाटरमेलन लेता है और कहता है कि उसके यूनिट मास जो है वो 12 के इक्वल है. दैट मीन्स 12 वाटरमेलन यूनिट्स और 12 फ्रूट मास यूनिट्स आते हैं. तो वो क्या करता है, उस पर्टिकुलर वाटरमेलन के 12 टुकड़े पीसेस करता है और हर एक का वेट फाइंड आउट करता है ताकि उसको रिलेटिव मास पता चल जाए हर एटम का. देन उसके बाद वो क्या करता है, इस फ्रूट को रिलेटिव फ्रूट मास यूनिट के थ्रू सेल करता है. तो उससे क्या होता है कि जब वो एक का रिलेटिव मास पता कर लेता है तो उसको वो वे करने में हेल्प करता है. वो उस वाटरमेलन के एक पार्ट को रखता है और उसी से वे करके अपने बाकी के फ्रूट्स को सेल करता है. सो दैट इज़ व्हाट एग्जैक्टली relative atomic mass unit is all about. Now here is a list of atomic masses of few elements which we are including in this chapter. Hydrogen 1 mu, carbon 12 mu, nitrogen 14, oxygen 16, sodium 23, magnesium 24, sulfur 32, chlorine 35.5, calcium 40. Now these are the atomic masses of these elements. Atomic mass is the number of proton plus number of electron. When we add the number of proton and neutron, we get the atomic mass. We also have atomic number, that is the particular number which is given to in each and every element. These things we will study in our next chapter. Now coming to the NCERT questions of page number 35. First question is define the atomic mass unit. I have given the easiest definition. If you find something else, you can write, but definition remains same each and everywhere. Now, one atomic mass unit is equal to exactly 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12. Now, the relative atomic mass of all elements have been found with respect to one atom of carbon 12. Now, question number 2 says, why is it not possible to see an atom with naked eye? Now, we all know that atom is too small to be seen with naked eyes as it is measured in nanometer. That means 1 meter is equals to 10 to the power minus 9 nanometer. Here mistake is there. You need to write 10 to the power minus 9 nanometer. Do not forget to write. Now, this was about our chapter. Next topic I'll be doing is water. What is a molecule? Till then, take care, stay safe, read from your NCERT book, learn the notes, learn the question answer, and write in your fair copies. Take care.